All right, we're going to start the Town of Sangerville Board of Selectmen meeting Wednesday, December 4th, 2019, and it's 5 o'clock. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2, approval of the minutes, November 20th, 2019, special select board meeting. November 23rd, 2019, special select board meeting. First one was select board meeting.
Make a motion to approve A and BA.
So those in favor? We're all in favor. Item 3, review of treasurer's warrants, payroll 98 and 100, accounts payable 99 and 101.
Make a motion to approve A and B as read.
Second, all in favor, all 3 of us. We have open session, but we have no guests, so I think we can shoot right through that. Item 5, old business pre-audit.
We had a pre-audit, it came back very clean.
Clean is good.
Yep, Levi just, basically said to me, he's an auditor, not an accountant, he doesn't look for the small stuff, he spot checks everything. He was assisting us in making sure that we could lay our hands on everything he's gonna need next time, what reports he's gonna need, we can send them some of the reports and he can pre-look at them before coming up. It should basically just shorten the audit procedure.
Good, very good.
But we're looking, we may not be able to do the audit until first or second week in February. He was looking, he might have a cancellation, we might get lucky, and
Oh, so it's a scheduling thing?
the scheduling thing,
Okay,
so. But we look to be in good shape, I believe.
very good.
The next item is MMA risk management audit.
Okay. Brian Howard told us that we had an issue that should be addressed immediately, and I asked him who he would recommend to give us a second opinion. He recommended Bowman.
That's the one I was trying to come up with out of Newport, yeah.
I called them, we had a meeting Saturday, I called them Monday, but because it was the holiday weekend, he was booked until supposedly this Monday. He didn't show up Monday and then it snowed Tuesday. He showed up today, went and looked at it. Yeah, there's definitely an issue, but he wasn't as, you gotta address it now.
The urgency was a little less.
The urgency was less. We called an engineer he uses, it's Plymouth Engineering, the guy's name was Keith. It was either Ewan or McEwen, I can't remember. And he wants him to look at it before he puts numbers
Super.
on paper for us. But he said, yeah, you're probably looking, he's sure it's above 50, probably closer to the 100,000.
So you've got another person who's leaving you with the impression that this is a new issue. This isn't something that's probably
Well,
sitting there.
he looked at the pictures and he's like, yeah, we bid on this job.
Oh,
And they did, I found it, they bid 115,000 and I think it came out 112 plus extras, but they weren't the low bidder, so they didn't get the
Another
job.
example, maybe the low bidder's not always the best way to go.
That's right.
I don't
Did
know.
he think that the bulkhead and heat was the problem?
He wasn't as concerned with the bulkhead, he said he would remove all the insulation,
Just let the heat go out there.
just let the heat go up.
Yeah.
He wouldn't insulate it at all, he'd
Sure.
just remove it all, that'd be best. We also talked about the fact that we're on the National Historic Register. And I spent the afternoon trying to figure out what that means in terms of, does it hinder us in what we can and can't do? Because he was saying, well, you should remove all the brick and then just put concrete in. And I said, well, it's on the National Register. He's like, maybe you can't do that. That maybe you have to put new brick in.
But does that mean we have to do that to stay on the registry?
I'm not sure, I've got to call into the
I don't
state.
know how that works.
I looked up the website, the National Register said, as long as you're not looking for federal funds, they don't care what you do.
That's
right,
Okay,
I would say.
okay.
As well.
Okay, yeah.
But
Yeah,
that you should check with the state, because the state may have more
like, what is our benefit for being on this
Right.
registry? We haven't seen much lately.
No, it doesn't change the
Well,
building, it
you-
still is what it is, and was built at the same time. The big thing is, it's supposed to maintain a certain characteristic
Correct.
to be able to be on.
But is there really any financial advantage to being on this list? Maybe, maybe not, I
Eligibility,
don't know.
eligibility for grants, I think,
Right.
is the deal, like the one Dover went and did the,
But do
Oh.
we ever utilize that you know of? I don't think
not that we know of. I found a whole folder of when we had an active committee, and
When you
I started
paid
looking at numbers. I think I'm gonna be incredibly shocked at the numbers that we put into this building
Uh-huh.
since, it was put on the registry in 91, so since 92, there've been some
I'm really
major
looking,
projects,
I'm really
so.
looking forward to see what we
So
put in
I'll
Yeah.
pull-
today.
Yeah, and then they were looking at, other things like the elevator.
Well, we've got, I mean, I'm sure the
Compliance.
suspended ceiling isn't part of the national registry.
Yeah.
I'm
historical-
sure it's not in.
Or
No.
the sprinkler systems, there's
Yep.
all kinds of things that,
Yeah,
so it'll be good to see what we've put into this.
so
Beast.
I'll keep working on that. And
It's funny though, they went through the trouble of getting it on the National Registry, but that's the one important part of being able to do that is
To get money.
the ability to get the
Yeah.
money. And we've
And then they
never,
didn't follow through on that
Correct.
aspect.
We've got the certificate, but I couldn't find the paperwork anywhere, but you can go online, I'm gonna read it, it's a 15-page report, but to see what it actually means and says about the,
Was the
building.
theater in Dover on the registry?
That building?
The one that, when we came to the Historical Society's meeting, and that gentleman spoke to us
Right,
about
right.
that project.
The
I
town
don't-
hall is, but I don't know about center, it must be though.
I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons there, I mean.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
apparently
know they
anybody
got money,
can.
but I don't know, I don't remember him specifically saying, because a lot of the money was gifted by.
Right, right. They
businesses.
raised a lot.
They
of
raised,
money.
exactly, grassroots.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think they went that way,
Grant.
correct?
Right, they raised the money. Yeah, that was the impression that I
I
got.
think so too.
Yeah.
Okay. So no answers there,
But I like the direction, I really, that's great, I'm anxious
Mm-hmm.
to see what that number is over the last, since 92, whatever.
yeah, it's
Okay,
kinda big, I think.
alright,
So, I mean, we kinda got two people right now, I mean, I know we don't have any raw factual numbers, but we're leaning to 100,000 either way.
I think so,
I mean, that's pretty safe to say.
yeah.
So,
But I don't think we have to move out
right,
right this
sure, but I
second.
mean, is, obviously it's structural, it's integral, it's 100,000 you need to spend, probably next summer would be,
Ideal.
sure.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not gonna put this out there 5 years.
I wouldn't think that was a good
That's
idea.
where I was,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to address it in this next budget cycle.
that's where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, going the direction you're going in, as far as looking up all these numbers and everything else, and we know what a select individuals have approached us with in the past, do we look at, are we gonna take this opportunity and look at this building as a whole? And say, this is what we got, this is what you have, this is what we've invested in it, this is what we need, this is what you want, and, you know what I mean? Or are we just gonna maybe go the way we've been going and just throw another 100 at it?
Yeah, I say, if we're just gonna lump along, we throw it on a budget, and we could take the 100 from a couple of different places, we wouldn't have to raise the mill rate if we didn't want to. And just status quo it. I'm inclined not to do that. I think this is a good opportunity to have a conversation that probably not everybody wants to have, but I think we should have it. And then at least, if the citizens say, you know what, we wanna just lump along and do what we've been doing, then we try.
And that's what we'll do.
And I don't know that all three of us are the same, but I'm guessing that we're looking at it close to the same way.
Yeah, I'm pretty close with you, but that's what I'm saying is, so with that, I mean, you got 100,000 to fix the foundation. We've repeatedly heard about an elevator, is it time we actually try to get a real number of what that would cost? And say, hey, look, this is, if you want the building, this, this is the foundation, this is the elevator, the upstairs, this is that's gonna be another 100. You're not gonna, if you're gonna fix that,
Oh, you're not even, yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah.
but I mean, all this stuff is, everybody has it in their mind that they wanna do this, but
I think, and it does a bit of a dart throw, but I think to get this building up to snuff, you're probably looking at $500,000. I think that's basic, just basics.
Yeah.
And so so the question is, and you still have a 150-year-old building. That is very expensive to maintain and heat, and all of the things that go along with that.
And we can't have a town meeting in it, you can't.
No,
Right, it's not really a great
You still can't have a
fit.
town meeting,
Yeah.
no, right.
So if we were ever going to consider modernizing our facility in terms of a town office, this is an excellent time to consider that.
Yep.
Because we're about to pour 100,000 just to get us back to where we thought we were 15 years ago.
Right, right.
Yes.
And I think that if you support that idea, I think the way that you sell that is, not only does that give us a brand new place to operate from, it saves us money for
Going forward.
decades and
Right,
decades to
right,
come.
Right,
Lots of money.
yep. Yep,
And, we could,
or it stops the hemorrhaging
yeah.
over time.
I mean, we could build a place, maybe we allocate a portion of that for the library permanently, or rooms so that we could have a town meeting in it. Solve a lot of different problems. Something that we could heat for a few $100s a year. A lot of things we could do, and probably in a public building, there probably is some grant money and things around heating systems and
Energy efficiency.
energy
Lights
efficiency and
heating
solar
and-
panels,
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah,
With a brand, but I think the first thing you gotta do is to get a groundswell of interest.
right,
Then that's not gonna be easy. So.
No, because I think there's certain people within our community that, I don't care what the number is,
They'll spend it,
they would spend it to keep this building going.
correct.
Does this building have a slate roof?
Yep,
Oh, it does,
with a few of them starting to come off.
oh boy.
Well, they replaced some a while in the 90s too. I mean,
There's a
that's,
few now that are off.
It seems like, if I'm wrong, I'd love to be wrong, but it seems like the Historical Society doesn't really have the energy or capacity to take this on as a project, similar to what happened
No.
in
In
that
Dover.
deal in Dover Foxcroft.
Right,
That would be your ideal scenario, where if you had a core group of people that really wanted to, and he admitted it was a decade for them to get
Oh,
the
yeah.
project done.
oh, yeah,
But they plugged away at it.
Yep.
I don't see us having that.
well, nobody has taken those reins and said, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I have thought after that meeting, we would get some follow-ups.
Right,
Nobody's
done that, so,
Well, I think the meeting was actually, it was twofold. It was very informative, it was very interesting to
It was.
understand exactly what they had to do and what they
Okay.
had to go through to pull that off. But at the same time, on the other end of it, it was very overwhelming to
Right.
understand how
Right.
much effort and work and what it took to pull that off.
He wasn't shy about that.
No, so I think that's
No.
kind of,
complete with all the pictures of the
Sure.
entire, basically gutting it,
Yep.
and rebuilding it.
so sitting there, knowing you could potentially going through the same scenario.
Yeah.
It was very overwhelming.
Yeah,
With the amount of work and effort that took to do what those guys did.
And I don't know this because nobody said anything, but I remember he opened his presentation with that he had approached the select board of Dover Foxcroft, and he assured them that they would never ask for $1 in taxpayer money. And I suspect that was a bit disarming for some people in Sangerville, because
Right.
their approach might have been different.
yeah,
But they stuck to their word, and I think they put over $1 million in that theater. And I've been there for a couple of events, it's beautiful.
it is
It's a nice
beautiful.
place, it really
Yep.
is.
I think that could be done here, maybe it couldn't, I don't know, but that would be the approach. I mean, it would,
Yep.
But the other thought too is though, is there really a need for another facility like that close?
don't know.
I mean, you'd have to even start at that level to understand.
Yeah, and there's no shortage of these great buildings
I
around.
know.
Every town seems to have one, or two, three.
Yeah.
But that really isn't, I guess, from my perspective, as a selectman, it's more about how can we efficiently run this town this year, next year, and 20 years from now. And being stuck with this whole building for another generation
No.
doesn't make any sense. I don't think anybody would do it privately.
But my thing about it, other than driving by it,
This, right, it's,
there's nobody using this building.
that's right,
We repeatedly have meetings here with no attendance.
right.
The library gets some use, but it's the library, they're not using it because of the building.
No.
No, the same with you guys, as far as in the town office.
Right,
Nobody's
but
coming
we're-
in here because this is the building, they're coming here to conduct business.
Right.
And some of the concerns that were in the audit, of course, they'd be really easy to address in your new building, because you're gonna build it exactly the way you want it, in terms of security and separation from the,
And handicap or
Yeah,
accessible.
all of that.
All of that,
um,
you know, the bathrooms and everything else.
and, you know, you start adding ongoing maintenance and heating costs, and the building will probably pay for itself in not that long a time.
And here's the other thing, if we were to do a massive renovation, we gotta transplant everything that's going on in this building for a period of time,
Sure.
a year, whatever it may be. I mean, meaning we have to pay rent or we have to do something.
Well, and I don't see us doing, I don't see, anything could happen 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now. I don't see the three of us agreeing to a massive renovation. I mean, I think what is probably gonna happen is we're either gonna do this, throw another 120,000 at this
Yeah.
thing,
Put a
and just
Band-Aid on
keep
it,
going.
yeah.
Or maybe we are able to change the conversation this time. But that doesn't mean someday somebody wouldn't try to put 4, 5, 600,000 in this place.
Yeah, yeah.
So but if we're gonna get a conversation going, how do we do that?
That's correct, that's why I don't know.
I guess we have to have what, some,
Could have some workshops.
right,
Some
informational.
public meetings.
Public meetings.
We gotta let people know, first of all, we got a problem.
That's right.
We do know now we have a problem. And so that would be a
Yep,
valid
The first step.
reason for our meeting,
Yeah.
because the town needs to know. I know it just seems like 12 so years ago, you put 120 into this, you're gonna have to do it again. And so we thought maybe a good time to have a conversation
right.
about doing
Yep.
something else.
Next week?
I think so.
Sure.
I think it would be good to get it out there before the holidays, before we do our budget.
Yes,
Well, yeah, even,
Yeah.
maybe even
Yeah,
a
that'd be
couple, just to
great.
get input, I mean,
right,
try to get more people talking about it.
yep.
You're looking at Wednesday?
Any day but Thursday.
What date is that?
The 11th.
11th.
Yeah, that works for me.
Well, I think earlier, I mean, closer you get to Christmas, the less.
Yeah, that probably will do well to get one in before Christmas.
Yeah. Okay,
But we
so-
gotta get the word out somehow.
I think we need to, what about even on our
Maybe-
website, can we do something for right on the, I don't know how to word it, so it doesn't, I mean, I want people to know, but I don't want it to be a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't wanna be alarmist.
Correct.
The
Right,
sky
so
is falling.
put it in, putting in the paper, I mean, cause as far as getting the word out,
We have the website and we have the Facebook page.
sure,
We can
sure.
put
And
something.
picking up the phone, calling the right people,
Oh, true,
or
true,
emailing the right people and saying, listen, we found out, we've got some deficits with the town hall. We think it's a good time to start a conversation about, the future of that building.
right,
And that, both sides
yeah.
are gonna light up on that.
yeah, yeah,
And we definitely want everybody engaged. 'cause
right,
Yeah,
You're gonna push this across the line, you're gonna have to some consensus.
right. So.
And we all have a list of people we can
Yeah.
email or call.
Yeah, so, okay, so it's December 11th,
Yep,
We'll do it 5 PM, workshop, call it town hall renovation. Town-
I don't like that word.
no,
Okay, town hall,
direction, future,
No.
discussion,
Structural integrity, I mean, we're meeting because of the condition of the building.
oh,
And I mean, that's the
Yeah, in
base,
fact,
that's the focus.
MMA audit concerns regarding town hall.
there you go,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the base, that's the start of this entire.
That was the
Yep,
catalyst.
yep,
Okay. MMA,
audit concerns
silence, yep,
Regarding,
regarding,
town hall.
Yep. perfect,
Yep,
that's perfect. And who's gonna put it on Facebook?
I can put it on Facebook.
Okay. And I wouldn't be shy about sharing with everybody the type of conversation we're thinking.
Right,
That's
Right.
really, we're gonna have to cut to the chase here pretty fast.
Well, people, yeah, I mean, what do you wanna do? You either wanna throw another 120 and nothing changes, it's all
Right.
status quo, or, you know.
yeah.
Or at least consider options.
I still, honestly, I mean, I know you're gonna do your research and you're gonna let us know how much money we've invested in this building. I would wish we could reach out to a local realtor and ask her what the value of this building is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting, yeah, in its
A real
current
number,
state.
a real number.
I wonder if it's even worth what the foundation would cost.
That's what I'm saying. Now, I don't wanna hear
Would you
you know, it's worth blah-de-blah-de-blah because it's all of this, or do you wanna know the real number that if he's gonna sell?
We want the real number, cause we
The
just
real
sold two
number.
pieces here in single
Correct.
digits, like,
That's right.
yeah. That would be interesting to know what somebody really thinks it's worth. What's Sharon think we actually could get for this?
Yeah.
I think that's great, having all that information for that meeting.
Yep.
Yep.
And I would specifically reach out to the members of the Historical Society and let them know, because this is on that register. They should know that we're having this meeting, and they definitely would wanna know about this audit. So,
Planning board?
Yeah,
yeah, head of all the committees,
Yep.
just to spread the word. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause one way or the other is gonna have to be support, whichever way it's going.
right,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no small tab if we just fix it.
no.
No, I mean, if we fix it, like, you're gonna, more than likely, we're gonna have to find a place and move out for a little while.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be it's a 2 mil deal just to get us back to where everybody thinks we are right now.
Yeah, and that's not doing any improvement.
Nothing.
That's no new
No new
carpet.
windows, no stained glass work,
It's all in the ground.
no pavement out front.
Right.
No, it's 2 mil just to keep it.
That's right.
That's scary.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yep. Okay,
I will do that tomorrow.
I'm glad
That's
that,
great.
I'm glad that we have an opinion from Bowman that it's not quite so urgent.
He said it's not that urgent.
Don't-
Granted, maybe an earthquake could knock it over. I'm going, don't be saying those things. I'm not an engineer,
An
but.
an earthquake might have knocked it over before we
Correct.
lose an issue.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, no.
But he said he was calling this Keith Ewan or McEwen and getting him to come over and look at it and
Good.
before he gave us a number and,
Perfect.
good.
sounds good to me, I think.
Yeah.
12:11. Is 5 o'clock too early?
I might wanna move that out a little bit.
I mean, we do our meetings at 5,
It probably is for,
but
To
yeah,
get the-
if
to get a
you would do
good
a 5:30?
turnout, at least, right?
Yeah,
5:30?
Okay.
5:30?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I was thinking, actually.
And you know what, if between now and then you get some push, because I think the meeting's gonna last for a while, so if the
Yeah.
person isn't here until 5:45, I think they're gonna miss out, so.
well, it's just, you don't have to repeat so much.
Right.
Well, sometimes you repeat a lot of stuff in those meetings.
Very true, very true.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. On to, new business. You have a property foreclosure.
I do not, there are none, I'm
Oh,
excited.
Really?
Wow.
Isn't it amazing how you get right down the wire? and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it was right down to the wire,
Yeah.
like
It'll happen
4:30,
again next year too.
4:30 in the afternoon, down to the wire.
Wow, that's,
And
That's great.
considering at the beginning of the week, we had still double digits, I was,
wow,
Sweat.
Seriously,
that's
did.
crazy.
Huh.
kudos.
so, and I think you should thank Doreen for that, she put a lot of time into chasing these people, but she's the one who knew, she told me, these people will all be in, we'll just have to chase.
She's seen the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll just
yeah.
have to chase them for a while, and I'm going, okay.
Well, that's good.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about is, we have a property that they pay every year, but it's down to the wire and it's a junk trailer. And it's used for storage, it's not even inhabitable. and it's taxed as a shed. But if push comes to shove, do we, I mean, we don't really want it if
Well,
this-
if it ends,
if this individual decides not
Oh.
to, pay his taxes. So there is I guess there is a process that you can go through to not actually foreclose. I'd have to do a little more research, but it has to go before the legislative body, so that strikes me as a little cumbersome.
why would we need to take any action?
We have to take action if we don't want to actually foreclose on, if somebody hadn't come in Monday by 5 o'clock, the process goes through by itself.
Correct.
There's
The
nothing
wheels
we
start
do.
turning. Right.
We're owners of the
And if we
property.
end up with a property, we can sell it for anything we want.
We can,
Yeah.
but this
So-
one, I'm thinking we're looking at paying to haul it off, or to,
Yeah,
Yep, that could
You know,
happen.
it could happen.
But you're gonna, it's,
I just kinda wanted an idea of what you thought of that.
We probably still would be okay, I would think. I mean, I'm only saying, and I have no idea what property you're talking about.
No.
I'm only thinking about some of the properties in the past that I think we've done pretty well.
Yeah, I know of some that I'm like, wow.
Correct, and some of them, I didn't think that would happen.
Yeah.
it's amazing when you put out an ad, how many people say, you know what, I'll give you this.
Oh, I'll hold that off, I
Yeah,
want the
I can
axle
do this.
or whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
I want
Maybe
the
we'll be-
metal, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the frame or whatever it may
And
be.
you know, I'm sure occasionally towns end up not getting all their tax dollars. That probably
Yeah.
does happen sometimes, but that's just
But either
part of
way,
doing business.
I mean, yeah, I mean, anything like that for me, I wouldn't my opinion is regardless of what was actually there when we acquire it, it goes out to bid with anything else and somebody else would be concerned about, maybe we don't, like Mike's saying, maybe we don't get the perfect amount for it, but they would be the one that would be responsible for cleaning it up, not
Yeah,
us.
and hauling it off or whatever it
Right.
may be.
So,
As long as we get somebody who offers us something.
correct, we get
Right.
rid of it and we get it back on the tax roll to where that's the goal.
Yeah, in fact, the clinic that we went to, if the town acquires property that has tenants, you don't evict. You sell it with them in it. That was a direct
Yeah.
recommendation.
Yeah, you don't do anything, you just sell it.
You
Yep,
sell it in that condition.
Yeah.
Now, the new owner deals
Yeah.
with.
with,
I'm so glad to say that we have no foreclosed property.
yes.
No, honestly, it's that simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, you don't worry about none of that, you don't
Yeah,
worry
yeah.
about what's there, you don't,
No.
if it's an edible or anything, you just, we get it,
Okay.
you run the ad, you get rid of it.
Whatever you
Yeah.
get, you get, you move on.
Yeah,
Okay.
Whoever acquires it, it's up to them to worry about whether or not they wanna clean it up, if they wanna foreclose on it, or if they wanna, or, get somebody out of there, I mean,
Yeah.
we don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And you know, the truth is, between the interest that they've been paying, because if they're that close, they're 3 years behind.
Oh.
It will look like maybe we lost money in taxes, but truth is, we probably didn't lose very much.
No,
No, we probably did.
no, we're not talking
Yeah.
major bucks here.
No,
right,
no.
right.
Yeah, no, I really wouldn't,
I
Yeah,
just let
don't
the
stress
system
over
do
it.
its
Don't
thing.
stress-
Yeah.
Let it, the cop wheels
you will
just turn.
have worse problems than having to worry about a foreclosed property.
Okay,
No, that's actually, that whole process is pretty cut and dry.
It
It is, it's pretty
It's already
simple.
laid out for you,
It's-
there's nothing
Just
that,
don't overcomplicate it and,
Yep.
you know,
don't try to do anything different than what it says.
yeah.
Right,
You don't try to say, yeah, I'll give you an extra day.
Oh, that's a
or-
big
No.
mistake.
That's where you get, go bad in a hurry.
Yeah.
You just follow the
Yep.
way it's written to the T, and that is very well written to cover you, to cover us, to cover the town. It's a process, it happens, and everybody moves on. It's when anybody deviates at all from how it's written, that's when you can.
yep, get into
the
trouble
balls in
real quick.
yeah, okay.
On to item 7, road commissioners report.
All the complaints, as you are probably well aware, are snow plowing related. I actually have gotten a few compliments on the job that Newts did on the first storm. But yeah, the mailbox complaints are coming in and,
Sure.
you know, and those kind of things. I did call MMA about the winter road closed to winter maintenance, and talked to, is it Richard Llewellyn?
Yep.
Mr. Llewellyn. Anyway, he said, one, you can't proactively block a road. It's,
Was somebody blocking a road?
no, but
Oh.
we talked about maybe keeping them from plowing
Oh,
roads that are,
Okay,
Right, so
okay.
by
that-
active,
so
by
citizens can
actively,
plow.
Got it.
actively putting
Sure.
something in the roadway.
You can't,
You
okay.
can't do that, it
Can't put
opens,
something in the road?
it opens a big
So how do you
can of
stop it from
worms.
plowing it?
You
really
don't,
can't.
you don't. Two, you should not actively give permission
Mm-hmm.
to anyone to plow the road. And three, you can't really stop anyone because you would have to have somebody out there enforcing.
Well, you'd have to block it, which
You'd
you just
have-
told me.
It's
not to
very
do.
easy to enforce it.
Well, you
But-
really
But if you,
can't.
but if he's saying, I'm not confused why he says you can't, I mean,
Well, because what are you going to do to them? I mean,
that's the
you can't.
question.
yeah.
I mean,
No, if you can't block it,
Right.
you can't block the
Yeah.
road, there's
You
not
have no
really any way to
control.
stop them.
You have no control.
That's kind of what he
But on the
said.
other hand, I got a report or a suggestion from them, said, don't let people plow it because there's an implied liability
Yeah.
once it's plowed. So that seems like a kind of a circular argument.
so somebody else plowing it, they're plowing it,
And I guess you would never give permission for someone
Right.
to plow it. That's probably the way you avoid it.
And
I can ask him if you can, actively, if you know who's doing it, can you actively call him up and tell him to cut it out? I mean, if somebody lives in there, I mean, now you've gotta,
well, I mean, now the more I think about it, like as they told Mike, by plowing it, there's a level of liability or, people are assuming that that's a travelable road. If somebody got in an accident, even though we're not plowing it, is there anything on us?
It might even be a situation where you wanna actively disavow, and not, even though you know they're gonna plow it, we use
Tell
the
them
West
they
Road because
cannot
we're plowing
plow
it now.
it. Right.
We could've sent those residents, say, no one there is allowed to plow this road.
Right, and if
we
they
know they
break-
do, but at least
Right.
we did it.
Right, that was my
Right, but that
question.
doesn't stop you,
Right.
I'm not worried about the people on the road,
Right.
I'm worried about.
Oh, me
Sure,
going
like-
sightseeing,
Yeah,
looking
you go
for an owl.
sightseeing, you go down through the.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
Right.
all of a bottle and you end up rolling over.
Right,
Cause
and
you
then you
assume
sue
it's
the
plowed,
town,
it's a town
Sure.
road.
but then the town produces this letter saying, no,
We
we
told
don't do
them they
winter
cannot
maintenance.
plow it.
And not only that, we forbid them to do it. And
Right.
you probably would have a better position in court, that's probably what he's saying, I'm guessing.
Righty, he didn't say anything
he won't let us
about-
block it.
Yeah, a paper trail saying, telling these people, you cannot plow it, and then if they were to,
he didn't say anything
anything
like that.
about
I don't,
giving
I
them,
mean,
telling them they cannot.
West Road's kind of interesting because they're living there,
Now,
now.
right,
Knowlton Mills is another example, there's nobody living down
yeah,
there.
and you can get
so-
from one end to, but it's a long way around.
But you can do it.
But that's,
Yeah.
the only thing about that particular road, and this is why I have an issue with that particular road.
Uh-huh,
We have a responsibility for summer maintenance of that road.
mm-hmm,
By that being plowed and allowing winter maintenance, that's actually costing the town an expense, cause we
Oh,
have
yeah.
to do a repair that we should not have to do. So we have somebody that's plowing it causing added,
That doesn't mean we
expense.
couldn't take them to court. If you could prove who's plowing it, you probably could say, you didn't get permission to plow this town road, and you either cease and desist, or we're gonna take you to court.
Or, and pay for
Some
repairs in the
repair.
spring.
Correct, you probably would have a case. And we're not gonna give anybody permission, so that's not ever gonna happen.
Nope,
Now, you'd have to be there to prove, you'd have to do a little detective work. But that's, based on what he's telling you, I don't see that you have many other options.
nope,
no. He basically said it's a no-win situation.
huh, wow.
Well,
Which kinda makes the situation like where we are right now on the West Road, I'm less
what
inclined
if
to
you block
revert
it?
back to where it was.
Right, yeah, because
We're
we're in a
better off just
better.
to plow it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we're in a better situation.
if you can't win from block, what are they gonna do if they block it?
Then they would take you to court, and it sounds like he believes they would win.
Okay, so you will if we block. That's still cheaper than having to regrade
That-
that gravel.
as long as somebody doesn't smash into your
That's another issue, yeah.
blockage and,
Oh, gosh,
But I guess, if it's well marked, they're not gonna, but it's thorny.
it is.
Okay.
oh, and I talked to the Newts about plowing the parking lot in front of the ball court. And basically, they tell me it's too soft, you're gonna damage it and have to repair it in the
Yeah.
spring, and so I've told that to the rec committee. They've plowed the other parking lots. If they have more overflow than that, I've told them that they can use Palmer lumber.
Well, that was
Oh,
very
there
nice
you
of
go.
Because they're gonna unload the horse there, or at least they
Yeah.
did last year,
They
so,
turned around there too, didn't they, last
yeah.
year?
So if
That
if
would
they
be
need
great.
that, that's,
Yep.
and they're going to get Troy Nesbitt to do one or two, slots for handicapped people who need to, I said, as long as you supervise it, you know where all the sod is, you know where, and
Yeah.
their budget, they'll have to prepare it if they
If they were-
mess it up
When
in the
is that?
spring. It's this weekend,
Oh, it's this weekend.
it's the 8th.
Okay.
Which looks like it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it's
Yeah.
good, looks like
Yeah.
a good.
I thought
Monday
they
is
had a
the
good
next
turnout last
messy.
year, and I
Yeah.
assume as long as the weather's decent, they'll,
They'll do good again.
yeah.
Yep.
And I noticed the Chamber of Commerce had us on the list of local events. You know, lots of towns have tree lightings and
Yep.
this, that, and the other thing, and so we were on the list, and I
Oh,
thought
that's
that was good,
That's
and
good.
so,
That wouldn't be a bad place to post a notice about your upcoming town hall meeting.
Oh,
true.
that's a good idea. Pass out.
Yeah, in fact, maybe mention it to that
Group.
group specifically.
Mm-hmm.
That we wanna pass the word on that. What time, what, is it all day Saturday, or,
It's 12 to 3, I think.
I may try to go down.
That's a good idea. So Saturday, 12 to 3.
I think it's, let me go look at the, it's on the door.
Saturday.
I think it's Sunday. but
Oh.
maybe it's Sunday, December 8th, 12 to 3.
So Sunday, 12 to 3. Okay.
Okay, on to correspondence, item 8.
I do not have any.
Item 9, request for additional agenda items. Hearing, seeing none. Selectmen's concerns.
I just have one thing, I continue to go to the Dover dump, and every time I go, Joe Sands corners me and continues to ask about the dump. So, and he said, I'm gonna have to start posting notes by the end of this year. I'm gonna have to start posting notes. I said, well, you haven't,
What does that posting a note mean?
letting all the Sangerville residents know that they can no longer go to the Dover
Sure,
dump.
in fact, we should be doing that.
I haven't worked on it.
We haven't actually
At
said
all.
we're not
I know,
going to
I
Dover
know,
now.
I know that.
Well, we did, yeah, we did.
No,
We started the clock ticking.
We started the clock
but that does
ticking.
not mean that we officially pulled out of Dover yet, by starting the clock,
I took it that we did. But we gave notice to Dover that we were leaving.
that we are potentially leaving, yes. It doesn't mean that you
The
are,
way-
that's not what
I
it's,
didn't take it that way.
no,
You
but I
might wanna
mean,
listen to
that's
it.
correct.
Right, and I told him, again, I don't know when we're going to present.
Well, it was the date, I don't know what the date was.
It
Correct.
was in
I
February.
thought
Oh,
it was
was it
February.
February?
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, he seemed to, I mean, every single time I go, he corners me. And, I said, come to a meeting, come to a
Well,
meeting,
they,
and discuss it with us.
They already did come to a
I
meeting.
know,
But they didn't discuss anything.
Yeah, well, they
That's what I'm
they
saying.
had nothing to say. They
I know.
didn't, we told them why we were leaving, how much money we were saving, and they said, basically, thank you.
okay,
So, and we followed the rules of the contract.
right.
I haven't looked into it at all. The only thing I know is that Jack Kluge did contact me and let me know that if we were to pull out and they ever closed down the facility, we would still be responsible for our share of the closing costs.
Is that in our contract? I'd like to see that in the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good time to get
But
up to speed on
that's
this.
all
'cause
So
I-
you know,
the
I
clock
read
is
that
ticking.
contract too, there's a lot of things in that contract
That are-
that we was supposed to actually getting revenue back from them, that we never have.
Yeah, tipping fees.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things in there. It wasn't just supposed to be a
Right,
one
right,
way.
right,
I mean,
right.
part of the
No.
There was
recycling end of
like-
it,
Cost share, there was
Sure.
like sharing of.
yeah.
So I just, yeah, it just feels like, anyway, I said, come to the meeting, and he did say, he said, Jack said he was gonna call your town manager.
I haven't heard from him lately. We did talk about it once, and that was months
Okay.
ago.
So he's, and, I mean, anyway, I'm not sure when our contract is null and void with Dover's, meaning, like, as
We
far
need to
as
know the
not
date.
being able to drive
Yeah.
it. Cause he keeps on saying, I'm gonna have to start telling every single, and I'm gonna have to start identifying every single Sangerville resident.
But not only that, we need to,
They've already started, I think, cause I've had 2 people in the last week actually ask me about it.
At the dump? Or
Just asking me about when,
oh, okay,
when,
okay.
because they're hearing that they're not gonna be allowed
Right,
to vote.
and here's the thing,
So
we've
somebody
never
in Dover
officially
is-
announced it to our residents.
well, it was in the meeting, it's just,
Right.
like you said, the clock had to tick for a year.
Right, no, I
And
know
now we're
that.
coming up on that, so it's good, we need to get up to speed on this,
Yeah.
we should start announcing it, countdown, all of that. At the same time, we need to coordinate, with Dexter, because they have stickers that we can sell to our residents, and there's a whole,
We need to make sure Dexter's still gonna honor that price.
yep, all of that needs to be,
Dexter, Dover now,
Refresh.
this may be a different conversation a year later.
Right, and I agree with Dale, I had more of a sense of, we're giving you your 1 year, you know, we're giving you the notice that we had to by law or by our contract. But that didn't mean we were definitely leaving, that, you know what I mean? That if they came back and matched
oh no, if they, let's say they come back and
Dexter's
say, we're gonna
price. Yeah,
undercut
yeah,
Dexter by
yeah.
another 10.
Yeah,
Guess what, we wouldn't leave.
right,
But-
yeah, that was yeah, but they haven't.
No, they haven't, they know all that.
And every time Joe Sands approaches me, I say, did you come back with a different price? I mean,
No, it wasn't small potatoes.
no,
No,
I
it was, wasn't it
know.
like $20,000?
It was close to 20 grand,
I
and we've been
know.
doing it for a long, long time.
I know.
That's why for me personally, if they came in tomorrow and said, oh, you know what, we'll match it. I'd be, thank you very much, but
But-
we're gonna move.
Yeah, because
Because,
of the last 10 years.
unless you wanna do retroactive for the last 10.
Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to sort of bring, and again, as far as letting everybody know, I was talking to a Sangerville resident, Thanksgiving Day, and he didn't know anything about, you know.
Yeah, no, we
the-
have
Right.
not promoted it yet.
Right.
But it is time to.
Right,
But as far as the Dover crew, they should have no grouse with us. We were very clear and upfront with them. We even told them what the price was.
yep,
Exactly. I mean,
I mean, it was-
they know right where they gotta
have
be.
no reason to be sniping at
We were the
us, not
worst-
that they have, but I mean.
Actually, we're the worst customer in the world for bidding, because they already know. I mean,
that's
they
right.
know the
Yeah.
number
That's
where they
right,
gotta be,
right,
because we wanted all of our residents to know why.
that's right.
So we're
So,
very upfront and honest,
Okay.
so.
I'll get
yeah,
on
I do
it.
think
And
now.
I can tell you from talking to I don't go to the.
Dexter.
Dexter or to Sangerville.
Right.
Mine's picked up.
Right,
And he said the Dexter facility is a much better facility from
Really?
his perspective, as a company
Sure.
that's, so, as far as that goes, he didn't care.
yeah, and you had done that research as
Yeah.
far as
Yep.
everybody that has
Trash
pickup.
busters, all of
Yeah,
them, like,
they're
yes,
like, yeah, it doesn't
not gonna
make any
change anything.
difference.
So,
I've never been to the Dexter dump, so I have no idea.
it's very nice, very well run, pavement all the way in, all the way around.
Right, yep,
It's very nice.
okay. Yep, so, okay, great.
That's it, well, on to executive session, any hearing, no, good, motion to adjourn,
Second?
all in favor, that was an easy night.
It's 5:45.
Yep, he's